Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Antidote Show. I'm your host, Marshall Brown. Listen, guys, I know it's been a minute since I've seen you guys, but God has been doing a lot of great things. He has us on at least 7 new platforms, which I'm going to make that big announcement come my New Year's, which is November. So you're all invited to my brunches, November the 3rd at Perfect Notes. So y'all all welcome to come, but you have to RSVP. So hit me up and I will get you that information. But just speaking about celebrations of life now, I don't do birthdays. Y'all know I don't do that. That's a little witchcrafty. I ain't got time for that blowing out the candles and all that. You ain't gonna put that on me now, okay? But I do celebrate life. I do celebrate a new year. And in doing that, I had the honor this past week or so to meet this amazing young woman. When I tell you, when she hit the room, I knew she was a part of the kingdom. You know how right? The kingdom has a look. The kingdom has a sound. And when I saw this young lady, I knew who she was in the spirit, okay? And we connected like that. That's how God do me, right? He brings good people in my presence, kingdom-minded people, people doing a good thing, speaking life and building up each other. So this young lady, I met her at a fashion show, and I know you guys have all seen the pictures out there, child. I had to get my walk on, had to do that. But she was one of the MCs at the event. And when I tell you, she is gorgeous, she is beautiful, and she is of life. And so she's going to be celebrating her life, right? October the 20th, she has her 8th annual Cut Out Cancer, right? How the Antidote Show got started. I went through cancer, but I was healed. I took a dose of Christ, right? I believed that God could heal me. I kept saying every time I thought about it, every time it came up, I said, by his stripes, I'm healed. And people's like, oh, you're going to have to do radiation. You're going to have to do chemotherapy. It's going to come back. And I said, and the devil is a lie. I don't receive it. I'm not bringing it out of my mouth that I have anything that I don't have. And let me tell you something. When I went back to that meeting, that man said, ma'am, I don't know what you did or what's going on, but you don't have no cancer. I said, I told you that the first place, okay? Listen, death and life is in our tongue, right? We receive what we want to receive. I didn't receive cancer as my portion, right? Healing was my portion. And every time I thought about it, I said, by his stripes, I am healed. And baby, guess what? I'm healed, honey, and it's over 15 years later, and I'm still walking in my healing, okay? But not about me. It's not all about me, okay? It's about my sister that I got to introduce you guys to. Miss Mimi, she's going to come on. Let me tell you something. When you see her, you're going to already know she is a queen, all right? She is a queen, and she sits in the presence of God, and I'm telling you, she is doing great things in our community, and I need you to support that. All right. So I'm bringing to the stage, present to some and introduce to others, Miss Mimi.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
beautiful. How
Hello,
are
hello,
you?
hello. Blessings and abundance, beautiful. How are
Yes.
you?
Girl, I am never better. I'm so glad that you asked. Never better. So glad you asked. So Mimi,
Yeah.
I just want to get to it because I know we got some other guests that's going to come on with us. Tell us, what is cut out cancer? What is that?
Cutout cancer is actually just a celebration of life. And I will tell you how it was actually birthed. Whew. 8 years ago, this upcoming November 23rd, my mom transitioned of colon cancer. I decided to not allow cancer to be how we remembered and even define my mom's journey in her life. She was celebrating her birthday, August 23rd, and wasn't feeling well maybe 2 days after being on the strip, having an amazing time as well. And we thought that maybe because she had walked the strip and had a burger, because she did not eat anything that wasn't healthy. She was a salad person ate once a day, very, very healthy and full of life. After being on the trip for the birthday trip for about 2 days, she just wasn't feeling too well. And so, long story short, and fast forward, we went from jumping out of the limo, going into the Venetian, celebrating in Vegas, to 90 days later, my mom transitioned of colon cancer. And what does that mean? Unbeknownst to us, because we had no idea that that's what was going on. We came back, and as we know, most parents, and definitely women, right? I got it. I'll be fine. I just need to get back home and take care of myself. Long story short, the day after Labor Day, she had to be rushed to the ER. We found out she needed emergency surgery. That's when the journey just started moving really, really quick and fast. She was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And 90 days from the date of her birthday, God said, I'm going to give you another purpose and another reason. Her and God, I think, had a conversation. She used to always tell me, stop trying to be the street doctor, because I've always had a heart to help, give, and provide for other people. And I was just praying, like, what is going on? And right before my mom transitioned one night, she was like, Amidra, stand. And at the time, I did not understand what she meant. My aunt walks into the room and is like, what are you doing? Because I'm standing over her. And I said, Mom told me to stand. She's like, I'm going to tell you specifically. She's like, fool, your mom is asleep. And I was like, what? But through the journey of trying to ensure, how do I move forward in this new normal? How do we still celebrate life? How do I adjust to this new normal, and didn't really understand, I decided birthdays were always very important to us as a family. And I would make sure that we would celebrate in her honor. She would come into the birthday parties, be the life of the party. Blow the Whistle was her favorite song. And so we just did not have parties without Mom's presence being there. So I decided I would celebrate my birthday, but I was doing it a different way. I would start celebrating her life, honoring her and others who have been impacted by cancer. If it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be a me. And so I just learned a different way to celebrate life. No, we didn't get a chance to ring the bell, but we blow the whistle in her honor. And I do it twice a year. Of course, for the birthday, that's the big, big, big celebration. Also for Mother's Day, I decided to change that narrative. Instead of holding your head down, we call it Celebrating Her Day. For those that have gone through the journey, may not necessarily have lost mom, but may not have a relationship with mom. You know, there are so many people that don't get as excited as one of the most memorable and very celebrated holidays of the year, which is Mother's Day. And so we provide them a safe space to come and still celebrate, because I truly believe if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be many of us, right? Like we wouldn't exist had it not been for a woman. So celebrating her is what we do from Mother's Day. And then in October, we have the big Cutout Cancer. And this is our 8th annual event. Each year, I decide to change the theme, celebrate a different form. Cutout Cancer's mission is to educate, empower, enhance the lives of those that have been impacted by cancer, and help them understand through this journey of adjusting to their new normal, they're not alone. We all need one another. And I know October is big for breast cancer, but I truly believe let's cut out cancer as a whole. So that incorporates everyone. It's not just the person who's being diagnosed. There's a community. There's family member, there are caretakers, there's friends, there's so many other individuals whose now their lives have been impacted. And how do we move forward in spite of? And so mom told me to stand. She always raised us on Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I chose to turn that pain into purpose and passion to actually continuously help other people as well while we celebrate her. So again, this year we are actually going to be honoring children that have been impacted. It's officially falling on my birthday, which has never been on the birthday, right? It's always been around the birthday. And so this year's event is called The Birth. It Takes a Village, because our children, it takes all of us to help them. It takes all of us to help them understand that through this journey, you're not alone. And it's not just cancer. Cancer is not just a medical diagnosis as far as I'm concerned. So I just chose to do something different. We celebrate. We're going to have it at Paradise Park, which is a beautiful wellness sanctuary that's focused on wellness and wholeness as well. And we're going to celebrate life and have an amazing time. So you'll have an opportunity to see two of the ladies that we will be honoring as well. They are near and dear to my heart. There are so many people I would not know had it not been for this journey.
Wow, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. So when Mama said stand, how long was you standing before you
Honey,
got it?
listen, I don't know about you, but I'm the oldest of two. All right. And I just stood there. All I knew was, as the caretaker, as the person who was now to really just make sure that she was okay, to make sure that whatever she shared, I carried it out, not just for myself, but our family. It's my sister and I, the granddaughters, the great granddaughters, the family. You know, my grandfather even said, you do know that you're the matriarch of the family now. I'm like, oh, those are big shoes to fill. My mom was the oldest of five. She was the one that was, like they say, the torch carrier that would break the barriers, that moved and did something different. So I just felt that she was telling me, now it's your turn and you got to stand and you got to carry it out. I didn't ask how long, and I don't even know how long I was standing there, but I knew that I needed to stand. And thereafter, that's what I use every single day to push through. Get up, stand, and move forward. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
You know, I love that scripture because I gave that to my granddaughter. She's like, I can't do that. I said, yes, you can. And I want you to remember this, that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And Absolutely. She know that if she don't know any other scripture, she knows that scripture. That's but right. One of the things I was hearing in the spirit when you were talking about stand, when the enemy comes in like a flood, God will lift up a standard. Right. And yeah. I was hearing that in the spirit because even I've had a lot of people go through cancer in my family, right? And they all have overcome. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had stage 4, stage 3, and I told them, I said, this is what you take. You take joy, love, peace, and you take that every day, and laughter. That's every right. day. Yes. And I will call them to make sure they was laughing every day. And when I'm telling you, they did ring bells. Yeah. My dad had cancer. They said he had an aggressive stage, that he was not going to be here 6 months later. Honey, it's been 8 years later. We're going into the 9th year. Yes. I have a cousin. She had stage 4. I told her she wasn't going to be here. I said, the devil's... See, everybody needs somebody on the wall. That's right. That's right. Someone got to stand on the wall and pray and intercede for those who don't even know how to. Absolutely. Right? And every family needs an intercessor. So I know you have some great women in the waiting room want to come on. I'm going to bring one up and let's talk about it. I'm going to bring one of the ladies up, and then I'll bring another one of the ladies up, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it is going through the process of it, how you even got diagnosed with it. What were some of the signs? Because someone's watching and they don't even know they have it, but they have a sign, right? Absolutely. And sometimes when you catch those things early, like I did, I caught it early. I was ministrating for months at a time, right? Yeah. And I was like, I know this ain't right. This can't be right. Yeah. And went in and got checked and found out it was in my ovaries, right? Mm-hmm. And was able to have the surgeries that I needed, and then to come out on top. So let's talk about it. I'm going to bring one of your young ladies up, and you can introduce her. Absolutely. Oh my God. Hi, our beautiful Maddie and Mom Max, and also our amazing first baby of cutout cancer as well, which is, you know, again, when I discuss the birth, right? Mm-hmm. Maddie and this beautiful baby boy was the inspiration for this year's theme. As I mentioned, each year I switch it up, I change it up. I want to make sure that there's meaning behind it, because I was there when my mom took her last breath, holding her hand. And I understand that through the transition, I feel like my purpose was birth, right? So what we do understand is through the most difficult aspect of pain, there's something that's birth. Maddie birthed a beautiful baby boy. And Maddie also was one of my models as we had a cutout cancer fashion show. And when I tell you, she walked that runway and lit it up like no other, and was inspiration to so many.
And once I was told that she had had a baby, right? So here's what's interesting, and they're going to tell their story. But when doctors may say no, the real doctor, God says yes. And as a result of their journey and continuously pushing forward and never give up, we have the birth of this beautiful baby boy. So I was like, that's it. The birth. We got our first baby of cutout cancer. So none other than Maddie and Maxine and our beautiful baby of cutout cancer. That's how the theme was derived. And so I want them to share their journey. I don't want to take this at all from Maddie and Maxine and share your journey and your story and how we came to be as well. So if you would just introduce yourself.
Oh, there it is. I'm Maxine. I'm Mom.
I'm Madison.
Hello, ladies. Hey, little prophet. That's who he is, a little prophet over there.
Yeah.
So go ahead and share with us your journey. How did this come about, and how did God move in your life?
Okay, so when I was 10 going on 11, I was on a hill playing with my friends, and I was a tomboy, so we were on like this really big hill in our neighborhood, and we were just like essentially throwing each other off the hill and like rolling down. And so I was rolling down the hill, and it was like we were just literally flying through the air all the way down. And my own scientific hypothesis is from that happening, like that's what triggered the traumatic impact to cause my cells to mutate, because that very day, that's when I left with a bump. And I didn't know that was a tumor at the time. We just assumed I pulled a muscle. So like weeks are going by and it's slowly growing and it's starting to affect me walking and limping. And one day I was helping my cousin move, and my aunt was like, you should really get that checked out. So we went and we had a scan and a biopsy, and they were like, it's osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer. So you can go ahead and tell what it was like when they told you.
Like she said, it literally, I think she was diagnosed February 24th. And so literally, since we had the scans done, it was like, okay, we need you guys to come in for the biopsy. And then once the biopsy was done and they confirmed it, immediately they was like, this is pretty aggressive. You guys need to start treatment right away. So that last week of February, it was just testing. We went to AFLAC, the Children's Cancer, Children's Hospital. That's what it was. We went there, and literally like March 3rd, March 3rd, they put in a port, and immediately after they started treatment. Week 2 into treatment, the oncologist came in and he was like, okay, Ms. Jackson, we're going to have to eventually make a decision about Madison's leg. And I was like, what do you mean? So because of where the tumor was located in her femur on the side of her leg, but little above the knee. And it was like, well, you have 3 options. Either you can, she will be able to keep the leg, or we can do what they call a rotation plasty. And that's where she would be an amputee, an above the knee amputee, a below the knee amputee. So they literally would take the bone that's just below your knee, connected to your ankle, and they bring that up to your hip. And they call it a rotation is because they would turn the foot backwards, so that the same way we flex and point our foot, that is the same range of motion of you being able to bend and straighten your leg. So below the knee would be prosthetic. So when she has the prosthetic on, if we would have did that option, you wouldn't be able to see it unless she took the prosthetic off. Then you would literally, where her knee would have been, would be a backwards foot. So I was like, okay, that's a lot. So what else you got? Then the third option was an above the knee amputee. So I told them, I said, well, in order for us to make a well-informed decision, I wanted to meet all of the parents who went through every single procedure so that we can see. And I don't know what lifetime Madison is on, but she's been here several lifetimes ago. So she was very advanced. So I just spoke to her like it was. I filtered what needed to be filtered, but I wanted her to be able to make her decision, because me as the parent, I have to think fast forward. Not that you want to think about your child's adulthood of her sex life when she gets older, but you have to take in all of those things, because how is a guy going to react to her during her first time, you know? So we decided, I had asked her, you know, when she told me, because once we seen all of the different kids in those different situations, she decided she just wanted to do the total amputation with above the knee. So it's like mid-thigh.
And let me just speak on what went through my mind during that time. So honestly, at first, just because as I was growing up and into my adolescence and wanting to blend in with society, I was looking at what society deemed a attractive woman and all sorts of those natures. So I was like, maybe I should try to keep my leg and salvage my human identity. And
Right.
as I was studying that, the cons outweighed the pro. Like the only semi-illusionary pro was that I would have what looked like a complete other leg. But every 10 years, I would have to have surgery because it's a metal rod instead of a bone, and have it extended and lengthened, and have to learn how to walk and do everything all over again. And on top of that, I couldn't really live my life to the fullest because I can't do too much. Otherwise, it's going to be a real problem with my bone against a metal. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, because it would have been a titanium rod. So literally, they had asked about our religion. They was like, you know, if she kneels to pray, you know, that would be a problem. Or, you know, running, she would be able to run and that kind of thing. But if she fell and a pin came loose, back under the knife. If every time she has a growth spurt, you have to go through surgery all over again. And when I met the mother of, her daughter was 9 at the time. You're literally stuck on painkillers because it's very painful. In the first year, you can't even bear full weight on the leg. So we was like, yeah. So I asked her, what's important to you? And she was like, you know, being able to run and jump, you know, swim, ride a bike. So what I did for her was I went on YouTube and I Googled above the knee amputee swimming, and amputees popped up that were winning triathlons, gold medalists in Special Olympics, double amputees with the running blade. So that's what we decided once she's seen all of that, and then at God be working. So I was
like,
God,
you know, he works by your faith.
Yes.
Right? It's by your faith. And her faith to want to proceed forth, because she had to, like she said, she had to make that decision. And I'm glad you did that, Mom, because that takes any regret or anything off of you, that she makes that decision for herself, what she wants the outcome of her life to be, right? So that's awesome. I can't wait to hear the rest. Go ahead. Go.
At that time, I sent my prayer requests up, and I was like, all right, Lord, if this is where we need to go, then and show me some signs of what it is, because it's like, you know, I'm terrified. I can't let her know that. You know, I have to be like, all right, my faith got to remain greater than my fear. And as I'm asking her those questions at that particular time, what's that show, Dancing with the Stars? The lady that was on there, one of the contestants, she was a double amputee.
Mm-hmm.
She was an Olympic gold medalist. She did snowboarding, and she had a Toyota commercial that came out, and it came on when we was having this conversation, and in the commercial it showed her just training. Her alarm clock would go off. She gets up, she go out, try snowboard, and she kept falling, and she was frustrated, and then she just kept going. And then it shows her mastering it. Then it shows her doing a fashion show, shoot, looked like a cover girl shoot. She walking down the runway. She had on this sharp little leather outfit. Her hair was blowing, and she was killing it. And then it shows her on Dancing with the Stars, and her being swirled around. I was like, is she not beautiful? Is she not considered not a sexy ripping the runway? Like, there you have it. So that's what made her, that gave her that, okay, I was like, we got this. So it's like, fast forward, it went so fast. She was diagnosed February, that last week of February, March 3rd, the port was put in. March 4th, she started chemo. By June 15th was the surgery. So, she did get to ring the bell. And after, what's even more challenging because...
Wait. You're just...
Yeah, other guests.
I know. I just wanted to say, like, one important thing that I look back, like, during that time, I was extremely calm. Like,
that peace surpasses all understanding, right?
Every time I would get worried as a kid, there was just a strong, calm feeling that everything was going to be okay. And this is temporary. Like, that was the only reason I was not freaking out. And I remember when I had started, back when that whole Keep Calm poster was popular, I had a Keep Calm and God's Got This screensaver. And
yes.
Looking back now, I'm like, wow, that was really significant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where are we now? Are you amputee or where are we at?
It's been.
So how was that process? That was good. It was hard. How did that go?
It was a tribulation, from tribulation to triumph.
Trials to triumph.
I was starting middle school soon after, so I was so scared. I went from fine, realizing that I'm like, oh my God, I have to go to middle school and talk to these kids. So I was terrified because I'm like, I really just want to fit in and keep the status quo of being normal and making friends. But I know that people are going to look at me and assume that, okay, maybe we shouldn't be friends with her because it comes with certain things, or, she can't keep up or whatever. Yeah. So I really struggled with anxiety and depression and just like every day trying to accept myself.
Because when she went into middle school, she had the bald head. That was the first prosthetic, which was very big and bulky. Actually, she had to wait for the prosthetic. He fitted and created. So she's going to school in a wheelchair, crutches. So going to middle school for the first time, that's already a terrifying experience. Because you go to the big school now. So to go like that and to go, she did it every day.
I'm excited for her. Listen, her story is just so encouraging to me. And I know it's going to be encouraging to a lot of young people that are going through things like that. But listen, you are life. You are life. And when you enter into a room, you're going to show them that you are life. You were able to bring forth life, right? You're able to speak life. You are life. I'm just so excited. Let me bring Mimi back up here, because I'm telling you, girl, you ain't tell me about that. Now let me tell you something. She encouraged me.
She life
to show you.
Yes.
Matt freaked out when we got the part. So what she didn't tell you is that she shocked me because she was like, "Ma, I want to do cheerleading." And I was like, "What?" So in middle school, she did cheerleading, and I was like, okay, we got to get another leg for you to be able to keep up. And Maddie did not want to do the running blade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, if they gonna look, we gonna give them something to look at. So this is what I did to her leg.
Is that not amazing?
Blade down.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
Look at him.
So
Oh, girl, you got me over here in tears. Like, oh, y'all know I'm a crybaby anyway.
When I
But
tell
it's
you, when
good
she
stuff.
did the fashion show, it was unbelievable. And I can't, I have to say this: the way that we even met, the very, very, very first Cut Out Cancer event, because Mom always was concerned about my hair. So I had a friend who had their own barber school, and she said, listen, I need you to shut down the barber school and then bring me in, and we're going to have to cut my hair because I don't want it. So we didn't go through that, but I decided the very first Cut Out Cancer, it reminded me of how many ladies or even men and children want to take back that power and control. So the very first event was at a barber school. We did free haircuts. We did free makeovers. People came from all different forms of cancer, and you got an opportunity to take the power back and cut your own hair. I cut the side of my locks off as well. What I found out is in the natural world, there are a lot of individuals that go through having locks that don't have the same ability to donate their locks or have wigs actually made specifically for locks. Right? Natural locks. So I had a young lady from the lock world, loctician, beautiful loctician, that she was able to take the hair and make natural locks for women as well. But it was just take that power back, right? And so as a result, we met our beautiful angel, now Aaliyah. Aaliyah was going through the journey as well with Maddie. And when she spoke, she shared with us that there were 3 of them, that she was like the 3 amigos going through it together. And Aaliyah shortly thereafter transitioned, but she was such a beautiful butterfly, wore her lashes and makeup and would go to chemo and go through the halls of children and just shed light and life. And so her mom wanted her celebration to be a celebration of life. And that's how I met Maddie and Max. We joined there to honor Aaliyah. So Aaliyah will also be honored. And through that journey, as we bring on our next beautiful, we'll find out how that story unfolds as well. So you just never know when you're chosen how God pulls everyone together.
Well, let's not hesitate to do that. So hold tight, ladies. I'm gonna put you guys back into the in the waiting room, and then I'm gonna bring you all back up at the end. But let's get Miss Heather's story. Hey, ladies, how are you all?
How are you?
Y'all are so cute.
Thank you.
How y'all doing today? Welcome to the Antidote.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're so worth it. You are so worth it. So tell me how you guys got connected with Cut Out Cancer, and tell me your journey. Tell us your journey, because we're going to be speaking to millions all around the world, honey.
Right. How'd you meet Miss Nina?
Tissue.
At an event. Okay, how? Just talking and networking and stuff like that, you know. And she said, "You need to meet my mama."
I gave everybody my mom number.
We just connected ever since. So it's just like you know her when you talk to her. So it's nothing. It's just casual.
Right. So did you guys go through cancer as well? Did you have a testimony from your event?
So Haley is a double cancer survivor. Her journey started off with 2.5 misdiagnosis. So she was being treated for backed up constipation. Then we're originally from Indiana. So her dad took her to Indiana, and she had to be rushed to the hospital, which they told her she had a urinary tract infection at the age of 5. So she had a lot of blood in her urine. So when she came back home, she was still doing the same thing or whatever. So back to normal. She's in pre-K at this time. So everyone knows that, she has constipation issues or whatever. So her teacher was like, when I picked her up, she said, something's not right with Haley. I think you need to go get her checked out. So that's what we did. We went to the local hospital. And so we were being discharged. So I remember calling my ex-husband and I'm like, she just has to use the bathroom. The doctor had me fill it. So she's fine. We're headed home. So then that discharge process took a little longer than normal. So when she came back, she says, you can either fly her or you can drive her to Egleston. She's already admitted. So in my brain, you're thinking backed up constipation. Why would you fly somebody to the hospital? So I drove her. Atlanta traffic, it's 5 p.m. So the highways were open, which was, to me, that was nothing but God carrying her the entire way. So they never mentioned to us that she had cancer. It was words like lymph nodes and knots, things that they've seen, tissue. It could be scar tissue. And at 5, you're not thinking about cancer. So we get to Egleston. She's already admitted. So apparently I made a phone call on the highway. And when we arrived, there were so many supporters, church members, friends. They all beat us there. So the doctors were talking about doing emergency surgery. So again, they're talking terminology that a normal person would not get. So I remember telling one of our pastors, I'm like, I'm not comprehending. This is a lot. Please pay attention and don't let no one touch my baby that don't have kids. That was my disclaimer. If you don't have no kids, you can't touch my daughter. So they did that for me because, again, you're going through the state of you don't know what's going on. So we ended up not having to have emergency surgery. The next day her port was put in. So treatment for her started a couple weeks later because she started off with radiation first. So our treatment went on for 7.5 months, chemo and radiation. So she's received the max amount of radiation for a kid her age. So if it was to ever come back, she could not get radiation again. So that left her with a lot of issues now. She is a double cancer survivor. Like I said, she had stage 4 WIMS, which is kidney tumor, and stage 2 lung cancer. And that could have been missed for the 3rd time if the doctors were not cautious. So that is Haley's story.
Wow.
Yeah.
But God, right? But
right.
God. And I'm like, listen, you don't have no children, you ain't gonna have no compassion for mine. So
exactly. So I'm like, everybody came in. Do you have kids? I'm sorry, but do you have kids? Okay. Because you don't, for me, yeah, it's your job. You care, but you don't care like a parent cares. So it's different. It's a different whole level.
You're so right. I know I had my son drinking those energy drinks at like 8, 9 years old, and the back side of his heart stopped beating, and he wound up at Egleston, right? I was freaking out like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this? So I can understand as a parent, seeing your child go through, I can understand even with Miss Max, I understand seeing, as a parent, seeing your children at that state. How do you handle that? How do you be strong for your children so then they can be strong for themselves? And I know listen, my hat goes off, and I ain't even got on one tonight, but I would have put on one. My hat goes off to you.
That's when that but God comes in, because it was but God, that mustard grain seed of faith you have to activate. Because just like Maddie said, she was positive. That was Haley. If you meet any kid that has cancer, you're not going to see them. No, that's not how they roll, baby. They're going to be more hyper energetic than the man on the moon. So yeah, don't let it get it twisted, because they are, I don't know, it's something that God installs in them, but baby, they're not like us.
That's why he tell us we got to get back to that form, right? He tell us we got to be like babes, because see, they believe when we don't.
Yeah,
right.
They don't even see it. They go on like kids go on and do whatever. They don't feel it, don't see it, don't even know. We over here tripping, and they like your baby said, I was at peace. I wasn't tripping. Mama over there pulling her hair out, trying to figure it all out, and
Right.
the baby's at peace. That's why he tell us he keep us in perfect peace when we keep our mind stayed on him. And it's
Right.
important to have that childlike faith, right? He just asks us to have just a little bit of faith, and he gives us so much of a measure of faith, and it shows up. But God, he shows up, right? Whose report you gonna believe? The report of the Lord or what? I'm
Right.
just so excited for you guys because I'm bringing Miss Mimi back up because people need to hear these testimonies, right? In order for, he said in his word, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and our testimony. And the testimonies that all of us have right here, right, can bring so many people into the lights,
Yeah. Yeah.
right, and into life.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's just me. I'm the only one that's ever going through this. And I've had to deal with a young lady not too long ago. She lost her leg, and I connected. She was one of the stylists at my salon, and I connected back with her this past May. She lost her leg. She lost her foot, then they cut her up to her knee, and then they cut it above the knee. And I remember my first meeting with her, I had to literally pick her up to put her in the car.
Wow.
But I just kept speaking life to her, And then it was one day I came to pick her up, and she said, I got this. I know how to transfer. I said, go on, girl, transfer it in. And she done transferred herself into my car. Girl, I just started crying. I said, let me take you to dinner. Let me take you to lunch. Let me celebrate you.
Yes.
Right? And now she's walking with her prosthetic, and she just came back from Cabo. Okay? Like,
Wow.
do that thing. And now she got her little guy friend and everything. I said, okay, do you now. You know? But it takes a village, like you said, right? And it takes kingdom-minded people to speak life to one another, to build our utmost faith up, right? I mean, I'm so excited for you guys. I mean, my eyes is just watering with tears. Y'all know I'm a crybaby child. I had to tell me to go get me some tissue because it's not tears of sorrow; it's tears of joy.
Yes.
It's tears of joy and excitement. I'm just, girl, child, I don't even know what to do. I could just run around this house right now, child. We'll lose connection. So, Mimi, what else can we expect at this event? Because these are two showstoppers right here.
Yes, absolutely. So a couple of things. Interesting enough, as Haley was saying, how we met, it was an event. I had gone out to the event because as a result of cutout cancer, as we all know, it was colon cancer with my mom. And I mentioned she ate healthy, right? So on the outside, you would have thought everything was fine. She was one who went to the doctor regularly. If they tried to give her a generic pill that was $200 less than what the regular pill was, she was like, nope, because the doctor said. And so that really educated me on how important it was for people to really take care of their body from the inside out as well. And so as a result, I'm health and financial wellness, which is connected to cutout cancer. Health in the areas of, Ms. Haley met me as I was introducing our all natural cleansing tea that tastes so good, you wouldn't believe it's a cleanse. We have it in watermelon, tropical punch, as well as our lemonade. We also have a multivitamin natural product as well. And I was introducing the cleanse. And so she came over and she's like, oh, this tastes good. I wouldn't believe it's a cleanse. I mean, yeah, it goes to the cellular level. It ensures that it cleanses the colon, the liver, and the kidneys as well, and get rid of all of those impurities that are in the body. And so while I was talking about the cleanse and they came up, I also shared how I was actually sparked to get into the health and wellness business. In addition to, I do life insurance and financial investments. Unfortunately, a lot of times people are not prepared. They're not prepared if they live too long from a retirement perspective and having their financial affairs in order. And they're definitely not prepared if something suddenly should happen as well. So that's how Cutout Cancer just birthed so many other things that I really wanted to do. At that event, she tried the cleanse and was like, this is good. And I was talking about the cancer organization and she gave me her mom's card. I will tell you, it wasn't until tonight that I'm really, really, really digesting and really listening to her story, right? I just know this beautiful, beautiful angel comes up to me and say, you need to call and talk to my mom. I did just that. Heather and I connected as if we were best friends and have known one another forever, because it was the passion to help people that led us to where we are today. And so what you can actually see at this event is we're celebrating life in multiple forms, right? We're teaching people from education how important it is to know your body, understand what you're putting inside of your body. Also, as Heather mentioned, they were misdiagnosed. So your doctor, right, the medical doctor that many people run to, isn't always truly someone that you should just take their word and run with it.
Right.
I mean, I remember specifically, that's why my mom said, stop trying to be a street doctor, because the oncologist was saying one thing and I kept saying no. I mean, we were at battle sometime, the oncologist and I, because I felt like, this is my mom. This is a job for you. And she's like, stop trying to be a street doctor. Stop trying to be a street doctor. But I do know that they are not always right. So I'm very, very, very big into holistic. And so you actually have the reason that Maxine really, really, really feels that Maddie walked through this journey, which is our herbalist doctor, is what we call it. Our true doctor, Miss Justina, she will be there as well. If you do decide chemo, there are other things from a natural perspective, nutrition, that you must be very aware of. Sound bath, art, therapy. There are so many things that we will do to celebrate life, but it's all about educate, empower, enhance. When you are educated, you're empowered to make better decisions that ultimately will enhance your life, however long that may be. But either way, whether you're ringing the bell or blowing the whistle, we are here to help people understand that you are not alone as you're adjusting to your new normal. And so that's ultimately what this birthday celebration will be about. This 8th annual Cut Out Cancer, October 20th at Paradise Park from 4 until 8 p.m.
I love it. I love it so much. I love it. And you're actually absolutely right. These doctors, all they're doing is practicing. Just like the same one that did your hair. She's practicing, right? She can mess up too, child. So you can't take it for face value. Always get a second opinion, right? And with stylists, always have a backup plan, honey. Because you got to have somebody fix that cut. She messed it up, all right? Holler at me. I'll fix you. I'll fix you. I'll fix you. But I'm excited. I'm excited to come to the event. I'm excited to be there with you guys. I can't wait to hug on your necks. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. I need to make sure and get the cleanse, the watermelon cleanse. You know, I got so many herbs.
And then which one? We will have samples. We will have an opportunity for people to just really have an amazing time in a healthy way. So there's so much. I don't want to give all the treats because it's a treat to be there.
That's right.
I mean, we're going to have an amazing time, and I'm looking forward to it.
I got so many herbs on this table, girl. You got to tell me what to do with them. Okay, I got herbs, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Don't know what to do with them. Well, guys, I thank you guys so much for being a part of the Antidote Show. Remember, God is the antidote to everything. All we have to do is do what? Get a dose, right? We just got to get a dose. But I'm telling you guys, hey, go to Cut Out Cancer on Facebook. All the information will be there. Check out my page on Facebook, Mershel Brown. I will make sure that you guys see the flyer and it'll be out. I want you guys to just, I'm telling you, show up in masses, right? Because it takes a kingdom. It takes a village, just like she said, to show life towards one another. And bring Little Prophet, because I know he's going to be talking by time.
We will.
Before you know it. He already talking. Yeah. So let me ask you this. How was it when you was carrying your baby? What was your thoughts when you were going through that? Because I didn't ask you about him. But what was your thoughts when you were going through that?
It was a it was a deep spiritual initiation. Like it was so powerful. Like I felt myself go from a girl into a woman that just really understood life, and I just viewed my mom.
I'm telling you. Hey, listen, we got to hold on tight to our mothers while we have them, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's nothing like a mother's love. Mama gonna always be there. She don't care what's going on, right? I got 2 sons, and they 30 and 36, 37, somewhere up in their child. But they call their mama. I'm all up in it. Now I got one. He got married to his wife. I tell him, go on, leave and cleave. Now, go on, leave and cleave. But your mama's here if you need them. But mothers, thank you guys. Thank you so much, mothers, for listening to the Spirit of the Lord, right? And doing what you knew to do best for your child. You knew who you didn't want in the room, right? Yeah. And you know who you did want in the room. And you have to have a close relationship with Christ in order to make those sound decisions.
Yeah.
So that you won't be at the end, oh, I wish I would have did it this way. I wish I would have did it that way. When you seek ye first the kingdom, right? Everything else will be added. Mm-hmm. Everything else will be added. So I'm so excited for you guys. I can't wait to meet you all. I'm telling you, I had, and Mimi, to let you know, I did have another event that day, and I put it to the side. I told them I'll get with y'all. Because I just felt an unction in my spirit, an unction in my spirit to be there, right? And our steps are ordered. And we know our steps are ordered, and he has a light into our feet, and he knows the path he wants us to go. And I never know who he has for me to meet in this space, or who my testimony will uplift and keep going, right? So always, ladies, always, until your last day, share your testimony.
Absolutely.
Be proud and be bold. Be meek is not to be weak. Is to have a spiritual boldness and continue to be bold in the spirit as God unctions you to move forward. I'm excited for you guys. I am. I'm excited to see the end, honey, because the end is what the end gonna bring. And Mimi, I like to say to you too. I thank God that you answered the call, right? That you answered the call, because you could have gotten into a dark space, right? But I thank God that you answered the call, and you can see it. I'm telling you, you can see it all over you, girl. You can see it all over you. It's just such a light. And when I saw you the other day, I was like, okay, she's a part of the remnant. Everybody's not a part of the remnant.
Thank you.
And God is building up the remnant at this time for us to overcome and overtake the destruction of the enemy. We're here to discern, disarm, and destroy every work of the enemy. Yes. And young ladies, through your testimony, you will do that.
Yes.
You will do that. Let me tell you guys, y'all are the antidote. Yes. Y'all are the cure to the youth.
Yes.
So speak your truth and let them see your light, because during this time right now, the young people need to see that.
Yes.
There's so much going on. They're getting caught up in the social medias, and they're getting caught up in all this kind of stuff, and all these rap artists and all this foolishness. But they need to come into Christ, right? And come into the church. And remember, you're the church. It ain't a building. We are the church. And we are yet going to rise and get in our prospective place.
That's right.
And do what God has called us to do. Right? Y'all all right?
I told them.
Y'all know y'all got me crying. Y'all have me. I'm going to have to get my eyelashes right.
Yes, I said they're chosen. You were chosen. What
yes, you are chosen.
Isn't always for you. It's to be a blessing to someone else. And what Heather and Haley are doing is unbelievable. Their foundation was started. She didn't even go into it. She's so humble, because instead of me just sitting here, right, let me give back. And so their ultimate goal, another reason we're doing this, we're having a beautiful baby shower. It's to shower these babies. Maddie, we have this baby that we're all going to put our arms around and help her understand you're not alone as we're raising this baby boy, this king. Heather and Haley, they're going back into these hospitals. They are walking through these walls and sharing hope for some of these other children. They're providing gas carts to these parents that people you take for granted, just parking, going back and forth several times to the hospitals. They're also wanting to build, and I am declaring and saying that it is so, it is done. They are groundbreaking on their property. We talk about Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
We have a Haley Bankhead House where families and the children and the families will come, and they will be able to come to this home that these two young ladies, through their journey, birth, right?
Yes.
An opportunity for others to feel comfortable and confident and safe and debt-free coming there. Like, let's focus on why we're here versus the financial burden and aspect of how do we get through the journey. So everyone that come out, you know, my gift and my birthday is to give back. So if you want to do anything, if I've ever touched your life in any way, come and help us support someone else. I want these babies. Yes, they not a baby, but they my baby. Okay.
They babies.
To understand they're not alone. It takes a village. So we're going to come out. We're going to celebrate. We're going to shower them. We're giving back to these foundations so that they can continuously do the work that they've been chosen and called to do. We will stand. All of us stand together knowing that, listen, the strength that we have, it ain't our own. We can do all things. So as Mom said, we're going to blow the whistle, okay? We're celebrating life.
I don't even know how to whistle.
And we're partying for a cause. Again, thank you, Mom, because if it had not been for her, I wouldn't be on this call. My purpose, my passion, my reason, my why, I now know what it is, and it is to give back to others. And I cannot do it alone. So I'm asking everyone that if you hear this, if you see the flyer, come and celebrate with us as well. And I promise you, you will realize that you are not alone as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, guys, stay in the waiting room. I'm going to come back to you guys. Let me end this show. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all, I don't even know if y'all been listening. Hear me, and hear me good. Young people, you are light. You are our next generation. You are our future. Don't be afraid to let your light shine. Do me one favor. If you don't do anything else for me, get delivered from the people. Because the people can't put you in a heaven nor a hell. They can't do nothing. Listen, your haters are your motivators. Allow them to motivate you to stand, like my sister said, stand. Right? Because you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Right? Hey. Listen, guys, y'all got me all worked up. Got my eyelashes. Let me fix my lashes now. Y'all got me all messed up over here crying and stuff. What you got? Oh, girl. Let me tell you, Miss Mimi, thank you so much. Listen, guys, I will post the event in my Facebook and on my Instagram. Check it out. Flood this event. And like she said, they're going to have Haley Bankhead House, baby. Let me tell you, I go to Ronald McDonald House every year and go pray over them children, and I cook brunch for them children. My whole family go out around Christmas and do that. Why can't we do that for our own? We need to do that for our own. Not to hate on nobody else, no other race, but we need to do that for our own, okay? And with that being said, listen, like I said before, God is the antidote to all things. Do me a favor and get a dose. Until next time, again, my name is Mershel Brown. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please go to mershelbrown.com. I have some big announcements coming up, and I'm getting ready for the 5-5 in the ATL coming soon, baby. Okay? Keep that same energy and love on somebody, because somebody needs it. All right? I hope this works right. God bless you.